every single one of our major customers and minor customers all shut their doors overnight.
You need the right people in the right place at the right time. And sometimes you have the right people in the right place, but at the wrong time.
I've got to keep going forward. I've got to keep looking for revenue streams. I've got to keep looking for growth, keep looking at new ways of doing things.
But, what's the culture like at the business? What do we stand for, the values?
I've got to tick that box on my personal development program I don't really want to be here.
Scaling up a business isn't easy. If it were, we wouldn't have less than 4% of businesses scaling beyond 10 employees or around £1 million turnover level, and less than 1% beyond 50 employees. But the contribution that we make as owner-managers to our economies is immense and should never be underestimated. Yet it can be a tough gig for all of us at times, and only other business owners truly understand the challenges that we face. And through ScaleUp Radio, we aim to help make things a little easier. We interview guests who have been where you are now and may have faced some of the challenges that you are facing. And they offer their thoughts and advice on what has worked for them, as well as what didn't. And we've also combined many of the lessons from these interviews and also through working with hundreds of owner managers over the last 10 years or so into a practical scale-up handbook that we've called the Entrepreneurial Scale-Up System, or ESUS. And it's for owner managers like you and me as we navigate our own scale-up journey. And you can order a copy through your favourite online book retailer or by going to all the W's, esusgroup.co.uk, www.esusgroup.co.uk. On this episode of ScaleUp Radio, I speak with Martyn and Emma Canning from Cannins Exterior Cleaning. And there is a difference between the Canning and the Cannin, and you'll find out why at the beginning of the episode, or my conversation with Martyn and Emma. They're a company that, as the name suggests, they deal in the cleaning of exterior windows, gutters, conservatory roofs, solar panels, driveways, all sorts of things. In fact, if it's outside of the house or outside of the office, they'll clean it. So don't stand still too long when they're around. Cannins are celebrating their 10th year in business, and they've grown literally from when Martyn was going around with just a bucket and a mop to now having 4 people that are going out in their own vans and doing the work with Martyn. So they're progressing nicely through their scale-up journey, and in fact, you'll hear some of their plans for future growth during our conversation. And as always, we cover a lot of ground during our chat, including things like the importance of knowing your strengths. And through trial and error, Emma found out that she prefers and is more suited to the admin side of things than the physical side of the business, and how important it is to realize what you're good at and putting your energy into that aspect of the business. We also talk about recruitment and how it really isn't easy, and you'll hear how frustrating Martyn and Emma find recruiting, getting the right people in for their business without it affecting the day-to-day running of the business too much. And we also talk about the difficulty in creating your pricing structure. Do you charge by the job, on a retainer, subscription model, or some other way? And what's evident throughout this episode is just how committed Martyn and Emma are to the success of whatever business they're in. They've got a great entrepreneurial drive and a great spirit between them, which makes them for a fascinating listen. Welcome to another episode of ScaleUp Radio. I'm here with Martyn and Emma Canning of Cannins Exterior Cleaning. So welcome, both of you.
Hello.
Brilliant. So come on, we've got to do the first thing. First, why is your surname Canning and the name of the business Cannins, double N instead of N and NG?
Okay, so Martyn is called obviously Martyn Canning, but we do car racing, we do autographs, and Martyn does track racing as well. But his nickname is Canning. Everyone's called him Canning since I've been with him. So when he wanted to start the business and we were thinking of different names, I said, why don't you just call it Cannins? And that was it. It stuck.
Fine. You didn't phone up Steve right in the afternoon and say it's Canning, no G, did you, or something? Yeah. All right. Good. So Cannins Exterior Cleaning, I think we get an idea as to what the business does from the name, but what do you do? What does Cannins do?
So essentially, Cannins is, with the exterior cleaning, is window cleaning, gutter clearance, conservatory roof cleaning. We do solar panels.
Roof cleaning, pressure washing, driveways, the works. Everything outside we can clean.
Brilliant. And can you give us, what sort of stage are you at with the business? How big are you?
So there's 4 of us within the business, me, Martyn, and then we've got Richard and Marcus. We did have another employee, but they sort of went by the wayside. So we're sort of on the top, I would say at the moment, we're on the top of the second peak of our scale-up journey. We're going to start taking on somebody else and go down that next dip soon.
Yeah. So you're nicely on that sort of 3 to 5 pillar stepping stone, and you're looking to start to transition towards the 8 to 12. Yeah, brilliant, good. And what separates you from the average exterior cleaner? What makes you different?
It's definitely going to be quality, and then bringing some professionalism into a industry that generally doesn't get it. So when you think window cleaner, you think beer tokens or a man with a chamois, whereas we're a professional company. We're well presented, and we do everything the way it should be done.
Yeah,
definitely. From
the first contact, obviously I run the office, so from the first contact, we've got a great website with a customer portal, so customers can go on, get instant online quotes, but just answering a few questions. It's a really simple and easy booking system. When you booked in, what day would come in. Everybody wears uniform. The vans are all branded and clean. Payments by direct debit generally, or debit cards. It's just a smooth transition to book, to have your clean done, and then make payment.
Essentially easy processes across the board.
Great. So you're making it as easy as possible for the customer, so that customer experience right from the whole journey for the customer is as good as it can be.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Good. And how long have you been running the business?
We're in our 10th year now, so 9 years. So we're into our 10th year. It's really, really good.
And what got you started in the first place?
So my dad has always been a window cleaner,
right?
And I always went out when I was a kid and didn't really enjoy it because I was forced to do it. So I went down the panicking route. Fell out of love with that. Spoke to Dad, and then I said to him, "What do I do to earn money?" And within this process, Emma was pregnant with our first child. So I thought, well, I'm going to need to earn some more money. So Dad said, well, I'll give you a few customers and go out and do it on your own. So I started window cleaning. You bought a van on your credit card, didn't you, for me? Yeah. I sold my polo and I had 800 quid. So I bought all the kits I could. And then I just went out, really. And then I did a little bit of mechanicking here and there just to top up the money. And then just worked on the recommendation route, really, and said to everybody, I need more work, can I help you out? And just kept the quality high. Yeah. And one thing and another, it started to grow. That's how I started.
Very good. And when did you come in the business then Emma, or were you always there in the background, or did you?
I was always there in the background from the very beginning, but I had different jobs. I was either working as a groom for horses and also doing debt collection. So those were my 2 main jobs. And I had my own little business as well, a bouncy castle hire business that I did alongside Mart. But I think it was, when did I started initially going out window cleaning and working with Martyn in the van.
2014, 15, you came out for a bit because it got busy.
Yeah, it got busy and Martyn needed an extra hand. So I said, well, I'll come out and work. We might as well do it together.
And then with having Lily, it didn't quite work because we had to sort of drop her off and then pick her up. And then we'd had less time in the day. So I could actually do the same amount on my own.
Yeah. And I'm not really great at doing window cleaning. I'd rather sit in the office. So then
we got a unit then, didn't we?
Yeah, then we had the unit. So I started, it was 2017 when I actually came on board fully because we just had our second child. I was working for another company at the time, but was on maternity and only on a temporary contract. So I said, what's the point in going back to them when I might as well just work for us and do it myself?
So we changed it then, didn't we? Instead of me being the sole owner, Emma became a 50% So it was just 50-50.
Yeah.
And we work together now to push forward. We've taken Rich on in the process through Your Horsiness. We met Kerry, his wife, and then Rich came and did a few little days and then went full-time, as in 4 days a week, but that's full-time for him, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then same again through the horsey thing, met Marcus, and he come on part-time and then just fell straight into full-time, didn't he then?
Yeah, we've had a couple of other members of staff through them.
People
but
come
nobody...
and go, don't they? But the two lads they're solid. They're really, really good lads.
So you got the four vans, essentially.
Yeah, so it's 3 vans in the truck with Emma running around doing quality office work.
And what's it like? I feel like I've got to ask this question as working as a husband and wife team. Don't you see enough of each other in the evenings?
No, he's always preparing race cars.
I think it works quite well.
I think for friends I know that say, "Oh, I can work with my husband," we do work well together.
I think when it comes to anything office based and all the organising, I just let you get on with that.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to that's what you've got in the day, I do as I'm told. It's as easy as that. You're looking at it all the time, what I call the matrix, and you know what's going on. And when it comes to the lads and say looking after all the equipment, Emma doesn't question me. I look after all of that. And then when it comes to the big decisions, we sit down, don't we? We have a meeting. And we come to a mutual agreement on, right, that's the path we're going to go for, and we just do it. It's just always worked out, hasn't it?
Yeah, you're more gung-ho, as in
I'll take a risk.
Yeah, you take a risk and you make those fast split decisions, whereas I sort of...
rein me in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got the ideal combination.
Yeah.
Essentially, I know I do as I'm told, don't I?
Well, that does tend to be the way of the world, doesn't it? Yeah.
A happy one. Happy life.
Brilliant. Yeah, good. All right. So, who's your ideal customer? What's your best customer look like?
We are a higher end exterior cleaning company. We do work on a lot of nice big Cotswold properties. Superior homes. So generally, a customer with a higher disposable income, somebody that takes pride in their property and wants to have a company that also takes pride in their property. A lot of our customers also say that we're sort of respectful when we come into their property, because we're all uniforms. We're not these sort of splash and dash window cleaners that are looking through your window and you don't feel comfortable. We work with a lot of people that have multi-million-pound homes, and they're quite happy for us to have a set of
quality
keys.
is carried across the board, isn't it?
Yeah,
you don't have to have a multi-million-pound
you don't.
home to have our service. That is carried across the board.
Yeah, you want to have. I would say if we were a supermarket, we would be Waitrose.
Okay.
We're the Waitrose of window cleaners.
Very good. I like that. The Waitrose of window cleaners. So I could see that as your strapline if they'd let you do it.
What Waitrose would say there.
Yeah, exactly. You might find yourself. Yeah, you might find a little lawsuit coming your way if you tried that one. But yeah, good. All right, but it's not just domestic cleaning, is it? You do commercial work as well, don't you?
Yeah. So we work for some of the county's top 4 5-star hotels. We also do retirement villages for the Bupa Richmond group.
Hospitals.
Yeah, we do a hospital as well over in Stratford.
And then large commercial units like, we do a big antiques place, don't we, over in Tewkesbury.
Yeah, car dealers.
Yeah.
Companies that appreciate, again, the quality and the service that we provide.
And we are very hassle-free when we turn up. If there is an issue, say somebody's in a meeting or something, there's an event on and they haven't let us know, 9 times out of 10, it's not a problem, we'll come back.
Yeah, we work around it.
Because we can always pull in work from elsewhere to keep the team busy. But we're always, I don't know what the word is, very respectful when we're out. And I think customers like that. One of our biggest contracts we do, they've got everything, haven't they? Commercial units, they've got hotels on site and offices and lodges. So it's all in one. And they love us there, don't they? because we come, we go, we don't make any hassle, they don't get any complaints. We'll be in there sometimes at 6:30 to get in before guests get up, in, say, food areas, the restaurant, I should say. We'll come away and then go back at 11 when everybody's out of their rooms and checked out.
Okay. Yeah.
So we bend around all of our
Flexible,
customers.
yeah.
We're flexible, yeah.
Yeah. And in terms of special kit, I mean, as you referred back, the what did you say, splash and dash, with typically everybody with a bucket and a mop, but it's a bit more complicated than that now, isn't it?
Yes. So we purify our own water. So there's a system that we've got from Streamline. I won't go into depth because you won't stop me. When that goes on your windows, it draws clear. We've also got lots of pressure washing equipment. We've got steam cleaning equipment. We've got gutter clearing equipment. All the vans have got tanks in them that can deliver the pure water to our full carbon poles.
Yeah.
We've got lots of equipment that does the job properly and delivers the best job.
So that sounds expensive every time you put a new van on the road, of course. So how do you manage the financial aspects of that?
So obviously we have recently done the Elevate programme through yourselves and Worcestershire County Council. So that was a really good funding programme. So
you've accessed some grants for that. Yeah, great.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
But generally, it's just sort of building up the reserves in the bank as we go. So we do. Both me and Martyn don't take massive amounts of wages. We take more than, say, your normal directors, but enough to live on. We like to plough everything into the business and grow.
But to answer the question on funding, so say a van, we'll put that on finance if we need to. That just becomes a monthly fee. The equipment, 9 times out of 10, I can fit everything myself from the mechanicing background that I had. Yeah. So I don't need to go and fitted. I can just order the tank, bolt it in. I can run everything on that side. So it was worth finishing that trade. But if we do, it goes down to Streamline. And they'll do a finance scheme as well. So say if I rang up Ziggy, who works down there, and just said, Ziggy, I need a van with kit in and I need it in a week. It'd just turn up here and it'd be a monthly fee. And that van out, go out and earn its money and, it'd pay for itself. Essentially.
Right. So you've got some good ways then of managing to mitigate those upfront costs of doing that. How do you decide when the right time is to get a new van or a new man on the pole?
Oh well, Martyn, I'd have a new van every month if you could.
Yeah. It depends how much ear bending you put up with.
Yeah.
When it gets really, really, really busy.
Generally,
when you see the team really starting to get tired, we've got to get another van now, and then we've got to get another man.
Yeah.
But we sort of, for the last 12, 18 months, been stuck at 3 of us on the road because every time you pull somebody in, it slows everybody down to the training.
Yeah.
And every time we put in, it hasn't stuck with. I don't know why.
It hasn't, yeah.
It's not through wages. It's not through what the jobs. I don't ask anybody to do anything that I would not do myself. So, no, I don't know. We're struggling to find the right people.
Okay, so that's a key challenge for you at the minute is the people side. Let's come on to that maybe in a moment. But what do you love about what you do?
I love, say, running a business and all the challenges it does seem to throw at you every 5 seconds. Working obviously with Martyn and running the lads, it does give me pride that when I see acquaintances or friends of friends, family members, and they go, cool, you're doing well, like, oh, all those vans, we always see your vans driving around. That gives me sort of real good pride. I'm like, oh, yeah. And people comment and things. And even simple things like on Facebook when people want to, does anyone recommend a window cleaner? And everybody tags us and things like that. That gives me pride.
Yeah, I think you've done the whole brand is you, isn't it? The way you've took it forward. And the online presence. For me, what do I love about it is it's probably the transformations that we do, especially with on like the steam cleaning and the roof cleaning side, and the customer will come out and be absolutely amazed with what you've done. That's a one for me. Working with you is another. Pretty much everything you said has hit the nail on the head. And then the free times, I know it's difficult. You get to ride your horse, don't you?
Yeah.
Which you can do around the office. And I get to go and play race cars at the weekend, and have the odd Friday off. So
what more could you want?
You can't ask for any more.
So if that's what you love about what you do and about the industry, the sector. What drives you mad?
Staffing issues. Drives me mad. Can I say customers sometimes? I do say to some of my friends that also have businesses, if you could have a business without a customer, you'd have the best business
I'm sure. I think there'll be a lot of people listening that will identify with that. Yes.
For me, it'd be the weather.
Yeah, the weather.
If it's too hot, it's really hard.
And if it's freezing, you can't obviously, working with water, it just freezes.
Yeah. And then high wind and rain, really.
Yeah.
We work in the rain anyway. We get the wet weather guarantee. 95% of the time, there's never an issue.
What's a wet weather guarantee?
So by using the pure water, I'm going to get boring now. Rainwater PDS is total dissolved solids. It's around about 8 parts per million. So you can clean windows with rainwater, essentially.
Yeah.
Run it through a nose and vessel. That's boring. So if you clean the windows at 0 TDS, which is what we use, our purified water, and then it rains on the window, there's nothing really going on the glass, so it will continue to dry clear. The reason why your windows look dirty after it's rained is because dust's on the window, and the rain has cleaned the window and just moved the dirt.
Well, the rain's
displaced it, dissolved it, moved it, and then it looks horrendous. So that's why people say you can't clean in the rain.
Okay. All right, unless we get rain coming across from the Sahara or something, but
yeah,
and then it's just red everywhere.
yeah. All right, yeah, very good. Something I didn't know. All right, so we got a great business going on, and you've developed that business over the years. So take us back to when you started, which I know you said you basically sold your Peugeot, got your 800 quid, and you got going. So take us through some of the key milestones that have happened to the business over the last 10 years. Some of the key things that you think you might have got right or maybe got wrong. What are some of the key things you remember?
So Martyn, originally the business was just called Cannins Window Cleaning.
Just traditional
window cleaning. Yeah,
a bucket and squeegee.
And off he went in his little van every day, and would come back with a nice little handful of cash and go, "Oh, I've earned this today," and I'm like really chuffed a bit.
Yeah, it was good. Like 12 months into that, I decided to go water-fed pole.
Yeah,
that was a massive milestone.
So water-fed pole. I think we all know what that is, but you probably just better
spraying water at your windows, basically.
Yeah,
up a big pole that's connected to a pipe. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. So that was a big milestone because that opened up a lot of work, didn't it?
Yeah. So obviously a bit more commercial work we could bring in then, and also time. It's generally a lot quicker to clean windows. And obviously a lot safer. So Martyn could do extra work. He could fit in a couple of extra jobs a day. So obviously then that started increasing the turnover.
Then we got into gutter clearance. So we then bought the gutter clearance equipment. So there's another milestone. So we were doing more again. But a big one was picking up our biggest contract that we've got now. So I cleaned for a lady at a home in Bishop's Cleeve, and I knew she owned this big estate with lots of hotels and everything on it. So I cleaned for 12 months, never really said anything. And then I just rang her up the one day and said, I'd really love to work on the estate and I'd really like to do every building. And she goes, yeah, I know, because you've been talking to the cleaner. that she had. So 2 weeks later, we had an emergency phone call from the estate office. Wasn't it?
one of the estate managers, she no longer works there. And she went, I think we've got, was it a photo shoot they had on? And she went, the windows are filthy. We can't get hold of anyone. We need the windows doing. Can you do them? And I went, yes, we can.
So we moved everything.
Thank you.
Went up there and spent 2 days cleaning it. And then the following week did a full quote for every building. Got a yes. And then their estate's grown, the contract's grown. And that is probably the biggest milestone because that gave us a real solid turnover for the year, every year. And that's great.
Brilliant.
So, that was probably the milestone, wasn't it, so far?
Yeah, so far. So on the business model side of things, then, so that's giving you good repeat work with individual customers. Is that ad hoc? Is that on a retainer? How have you structured your business model that way?
So obviously we do regular window cleaning every 6 weeks, 6 or 12 weekly. They're not generally contracted, as in signed in. They have to sign up for 12 months. We do have a pretty high retention rate of customers anyway. So once they are with us, it's very unlikely that they move on quickly. Yeah. I did look at going down the subscription route where you sign up, you pay monthly, but have obviously the windows cleaned every 6 weeks. But just the software we've got at the moment was causing a bit of a nightmare with us. So we're currently sort that out.
Okay.
But yeah, generally window cleaning is 6 weekly. It's not what you would class as an official reoccurring income. But yeah.
So yeah, it's basically subscription service, isn't it, with you every 6 weeks? Yeah. And then on the back ad hoc work, so
roof cleaning, patios, yeah.
And a lot of the services wrap round our custom anyway. So we'll pick a service for each month or each
so sort of now going into the autumn, we're going into obviously gutter clearance, and potentially roof cleaning side of the work, because people are fed up with moss falling down. So that's the one now. Obviously spring, summer is like patios and driveways, because people are outside a lot more and want to enjoy their garden. So
must have been a big milestone for you deciding to take on another person and have another van. So what stage was that? So
after you stopped working,
I
always had a couple of friends maybe come out on the odd day just to help me out, just because subbies just to help out. Then Richard came in and he was so good and we got so busy.
And that was 2019, wasn't it?
2019,
yeah. He came in.
I just asked him, I said, do you think you'd be all right in your own van? And he said, yeah. So we just went out and bought a van, and I'd got some spare kit. I chucked it in the van and off he went. And then since then, he prefers to work on his own, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's fantastic. Literally, you give him the work. He'll even say there's an issue with anything. He'll pick it up and go, oh, yeah, I've dealt with it. This is done. So, yeah. The reason we went for the extra van, though, was because we got too busy.
Yeah.
Essentially, to answer your question.
It was easy. It was more efficient to have one man, one van doing the work than two men in one van.
Because you don't say if you drive 30 minutes, you're not losing an hour's labour.
Yeah.
You're only using 30 minutes. So, yeah. That's the reason.
Very good. And then presumably on from there to the next one.
Yeah, so Marcus came in we did take on another employee
6 months.
Yeah, when did he come on? We took on another employee and we did get him a van, but he just didn't work out. He didn't like working outside, and he wasn't the greatest with how he dealt with customers. So there was a transition period between him and Marcus. Marcus came on board just to do some sort of, again, subcontracting, just helping out on big jobs.
Up to 4, really, weren't we?
Yeah. So Marcus came on board, and then Marcus, again, just loves working for us. And like I said earlier on, if you snapped our guys in half, they would say cannons inside like a stick of rock.
Yeah.
So, both great.
And what do you attribute that to? Because it sounds like they're like mini yous, Martyn, in a way, by the sounds of it, which is great. Now, most of us running small and medium-sized businesses, we struggle with really getting our team members to behave in the way that we would want them to, and certainly in the way that and take things as seriously and as proactively as we do as the business owner. So what do you put that down to?
If we ever have an issue, I try to teach them a lesson from it instead of sort of jumping down their throats. So, and it's a very one-to-one training, because the way I want things done has to be done a certain way. So they'll spend some time with me. They'll spend some time with Rich, maybe. I don't know. We pay them okay, don't we?
Yeah, they have a good wage.
Well.
We just make sure our expectations are clear to them. Obviously, the whole business rhythm and the business ethos.
They know our core values.
Yeah, that our core values. We've got those of what.
And everything's immaculate. I think that helps. Is units immaculate, the kit's immaculate. They're given all the workwear. I'm really on top of them.
So if there is an issue, instead of like just going, oh yeah, you've done a bad job, you've done it wrong, you've done this, Martyn will explain like, right, this is what went wrong in the job. Why do you think it's gone wrong? And really explain to them, and right, have we learned from this? This is what we're going to learn, and we're going to move on. And there's no grudges held, is there, sort of thing?
No. And I think they like it if I've got something to say, it'll just be said.
Yeah.
The worst thing that they'll get from me is silence. If I'm silent, there's something wrong. So, and I'll just bring them up to the office. We'll have a sit down and a coffee. We'll go through things. We do something most weeks, which we've just got laps on lately, but it's called Monkey Business. So I'll sit with them every week, 2 weeks. We'll just run through a few things, core values. I'll allow them to say, right, what issues have you got with me or the business? What can we help? What can we do to help you? And then same the other way around. So we're all pulling in the same direction. I think that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Excellent. Very good. So what did you learn then from the chat between Richard and Marcus? Then what did you that didn't quite work out? What did you learn from that?
Oh God. Before Laszlo and Marcus, I don't know. It's a hard one. I don't even know what we've really learned. It's just hard taking on staff. Obviously, Richard and Marcus, I knew personally before we took them on, so I'd already sort of like weighed them up. Whereas obviously when we took Laszlo on, and then we had another employee as well, they just came through the whole sort of interview process and came in with CVs. We had no underlying sort of idea of them.
Outside people. You need to be an outside person to be a window cleaner, an exterior cleaner. You've got to love being outside.
Well, I would imagine, unless you're cleaning them from the inside.
Yeah, you know. Yeah. But I think it's hard to gauge within the interview because you can only ask so many questions, can't you?
Yeah. We need grafters that
want to earn good money.
Yeah, want to earn good money.
Because I don't restrict they're not on, it's 40 hours a week, you must go home. It's, we give them a minimum of 35. They're guaranteed that. So if it rains all week, I'll pay them 35 hours and that's that. Right. On the other hand, if there's 60 hours worth of work and they want to come in early and they want to stay late, I'm not jumping down on them to say, you must log out, you're costing me money, because they just work and work and work. And the both of them want to earn the money. So every hour they work, they get paid. So, yeah. No,
it's very good. It sounds like you've fostered that culture, which means that, because I was going to ask you, how do you make sure that they're doing the job well and to your standards? But it sounds like from that training, but then also they've bought into the sense of pride that you're showing through every aspect of the business, and they're taking. My feeling is, from what you said, is they're taking that pride themselves, and you don't need to be on their backs every minute of the day saying you missed a bit or whatever.
Engage it from the customer. The customers will soon let you know. Yeah,
we're very clear with our customers that any issues, small or large,
and we give a 24-hour guarantee.
You come back to us and let us know. And there have been occasions when our customers have come back and said, so-and-so has been out and I'm not overly happy. And literally we've gone straight back out, got the issues resolved. Hence why obviously one doesn't work for us anymore. So that's why I think the guarantee from us, with the guarantee, it makes the lads make a better job, because if they don't, they have got to go back. We don't knock them down for that. Things happen. We clean thousands and thousands of panes of glass. One of them's going to streak, one of them's going to spot. It's going to happen. But 99% of the time, they make such a good job. And we trust. I think the main thing is trust. Yeah. Our tagline for the business is trust in the detail. So I say to them, you can't drive around in the van with trusting in the detail on the side of the van and not deliver a proper job.
Yeah. Excellent. Good. So what things have you learned along the way? What's different about you both from when you started 10 years ago?
Confidence.
Yeah, Martyn especially. Martyn's like completely different to how he was.
I used to be this 8-stone, scrawny little lad.
That wouldn't make any decisions.
No. Really?
Yeah. That literally I had to double check and check everything. But, am I doing this okay? And how do I open a bank account? He was even to the state of that, like, how do I open up a bank account? Whereas, he's changed a lot. And I'd say I've become softer, haven't I? I don't like confrontation anymore. I'm too old.
See, I don't mind it. Yeah, for something to be said, it's being said. Yeah, so confidence is a big thing. Love business. Absolutely. If I've learned anything, that business is exciting. Love a risk take. I love the stress. Yeah, I know people moan about it, but when you're right up against the wall. So through the pandemic, it was like, right, okay, dig your heels in, let's go.
Yeah.
Not forcing, but being very suggestive on why don't you have this done? It's salesman, I suppose.
Yeah, but also I from what I know about you, you love a challenge, don't you? You're not one to go, oh well, let's throw the cards in then. You know, you hit a barrier and you either find a way over it, around it, under it, whatever, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. You've learnt loads with, I would say, running the business.
Yeah,
you've developed fantastically. I would say you've done a lot with Kevin. The things you do on the computer and the processes you put in and the things that we have to follow, all the health and safety side. So don't be too hard on yourself there. We wouldn't run as we run now without what Emma does.
Yeah,
we can only be productive on the road because she's put us all in order.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You'd be having to pop back every afternoon or be interrupted throughout the day or whatever, wouldn't you, without that?
Before you started, I couldn't work because I was on the phone all day. So we didn't actually earn any money. So, yeah.
And what you mentioned word of mouth before. What is your most effective way of finding new customers?
I would say definitely referrals from other customers and recommendations that way. The website, like I said, we've got a new customer portal now, so people can just log on and get their own quotes. We did dabble in Google Ads with one company, but they weren't very good. We did potentially look at doing it and doing them again with another company, but it's just sort of funds at the moment. Like with everything, the cost of living and everything, it has impacted our business, being a service industry. So we were looking back to cut back as much as we can to obviously save as much. So we didn't go with it at the time being, but we have done a leaflet campaign. I love social media for posting things. Yeah. And I'm very good, especially for commercial customers. I will sort of start following somebody that we want to work for. A prime example, we've had this customer for ages, but say Broadway Tower, we've worked for them for years. But if I wanted them as a customer, I would start following them on Instagram or Facebook, like their posts, and then slyly slide into the DMs and drop them a message and be like, oh, I love what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. If ever you need any exterior cleaning work, please feel free to contact us. And that does work. That does work for some of the commercial jobs. You
do a bit online, don't we? We do the local magazines.
The local sort of
drops, and then obviously the website.
Yeah,
and it all sort of locally the brand is pretty well known.
But also the vans pick up a lot of work.
Yeah,
because
I make them keep it clean.
Yeah, neighbours see. Oh, I've seen some of your vans over the road. Can I get a quote? And that's always a good one.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to be going around with a dirty van, would you?
No, they are made to wash them pretty much every day.
Yeah.
And if they're dirty midday and they're coming back from water, they need to wash it when they come back as well.
Yeah.
The vans are always immaculate. And the same with their workwear, but the brand is, we're a cleaning company, we need to be clean, I think.
Yeah.
No, perfect. And what are the key numbers that you look at on a regular basis? What are they to keep a finger on the pulse as to how well the business is performing? What are your key performance indicators?
So we have like a minimum target for the lads each day.
Yeah.
And obviously that works then into a week. So I know what a good week looks like. And I know then if we've got space to fit extra work in or if we're going to be full. And obviously hours as well. Obviously we're a labour driven business. So if we've got like generally I try and book in 8 hours of work a day for the lads, in between 7 and 8. But yeah, obviously we've got a really good bookkeeper with Ada Bookkeeping.
Okay, nice plug.
Yeah, big up Helen and the team. So they send us over our monthly report packs.
That's
which
made a big
is,
difference.
yeah,
Isn't it? That's
vital,
the numbers we look
absolutely
at.
vital. Because the accountants and say bookkeeper, well, I used to do the bookkeeping myself, but the previous accountants and that we've never really had that. So we sort of, turnover looks good, but then obviously everything else in your expenses, you didn't realise until say end of year, like, oh, actually we didn't make as much as we thought we did.
Yeah.
So the monthly report packs are vital for us, making sure obviously we're hitting our minimum targets for the day, the week, the month. So that's what we look at, and then just the expenses. Try and curb expenses where we can, because that obviously helps.
It's not a cheap company to run, is it? I don't think any company is, but sometimes I'll look at the numbers and go, how? How? We're window cleaners. How can it cost that much? But then, diesel insurance is unit. It just goes on and on and on, doesn't it? We've just gone through a run of everything breaking. So every vehicle, the gearbox went in the truck. It's just kit's broken. So we've just gone. There's just been bills flying everywhere. We've managed to get through that. Touch wood. So if something else breaks. But
that's the thing, when you've got 3 vans, a truck, and then all of like the engines for the pressure washers and generators and things like that, things are going to break, and things aren't cheap when they do break.
Yeah.
But we have got the right people around us, haven't we? We use Eddie's Autos.
Yeah.
Plug.
So do you put aside a contingency fund, or try and build a contingency fund then for?
So I have our general, obviously, current account that all the money goes into, and then I have our VAT account, which is I just swipe money across all the time. So that's always there, because I do know that we've got friends within business that don't put away the VAT, and then the VAT man is due, and they're going, oh, I've sort of spent all that money. So our VAT is never an issue. And then I've got a savings account as well. So again, obviously, I just pour money. I only like to generally have like a couple of grand in the current account. Obviously, for fraud as well, if your bank account gets stolen or something, not a lot. But I just try and keep everything.
We always keep a reserve, because things go wrong, things break. Or say we've got a big job coming up, and it's going to be like a week or 2 weeks worth of work. You've got to pay everybody to do it. And then you've got to wait 30 days or 90 days on some things for the money's in. So we've always got that reserve to sit on.
Good. Yeah. Very good. So if we're having this conversation in 5 years' time, then what does good look like? What has to have happened for you to go, that was a successful 5 years?
Do you want to answer this?
You do it, because my idea is different to yours.
Go on, you answer and give your idea, and I'll give mine after.
Okay, so probably it would be taking on maybe another 2 cleaners, a couple of other vans on the road. But what we would really like to is get into this property. That's where we want to end up, isn't it? Having this business needs to just run itself, have somebody in the office managing the office doing my job, which would then free us up, or me up, to go do obviously property. But Martyn wants to get bigger than that.
So for me, 2 to 3 in the office, 8 to 10 vans on the road.
Yeah.
Pushing the counters out, having a couple of bases if we need to. So within your radius of where you're working, you're going to need a pure water base. So if you run out of water for a day, you come back, fill up, carry on. So I would say 8 to 10, but it's only around the corner, I think. The only thing we need is more work, and more work creates more vans and creates more turnover. I mean, it just goes round and round. And I think with the processes that we built, it just can't fail.
Yeah.
The only thing that will stop it is if the work doesn't come through the door.
And your challenge you mentioned earlier of finding good people.
Yeah. So it's whether we need to incentivize more, or I don't know. But I think the process that we've got are quite easy. Even in the unit we've got, we'll run 8 to 10 vans so easily. I'd have to come off the tools then, but it'd be more of
you'd sort of manage the team.
More of a management role, yeah. But we're probably still running around in a little van, taking kit out, fixing things, sorting problems. I love problem solving. And then you're going to need 2 or 3 people in the office dealing with inbound, outbound. just the normal stuff an office would do, really. So yeah, my target is 8 to 10.
Brilliant.
And
All right.
Brilliant.
Okay, good. So a couple of questions to wrap up with then. If you could go back to your younger selves, what advice would you give yourselves?
Oh God, younger selves. Maybe try harder at school. I never wanted an office job. I just wanted to be outside with horses all day. But then the weather's not nice, is it? So I don't know. I don't know what advice I'd give myself.
I'd give myself, just follow what you love, or start a window cleaning company as soon as you leave school, or even do it when you're a teenager and go out and do it at weekends and make yourself some money, build your money up, get yourself a reserve. And then window cleaning is a great stepping stone to other business. It's a great core business. So yeah, my advice to myself would be, as soon as you finish school, go out and start. Definitely.
And I'd say never let anybody tell you that you can't do anything or it's too risky. I find that is a lot of things with when you own a business or you're looking to start a business, you get a lot of, say, family members or friends that go, oh, do you think it's a good idea?
Yeah.
Or that's a bit risky. Or what happens if nobody pays you? Or I think that's the thing. Don't listen. If you've got a passion and you've got dream and you've got something about you as well, you can do it and you can make it work. Even in like tough times like the current climate, you can make it work. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Pick what you love and just go for it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's the best thing.
Love it. Yeah. Very good. All right. Well, I think that's probably it for today. That's fantastic. You had some really good advice and really good story from your journey. So thank you very much for being part of ScaleUp Radio. If people would like to get hold of Cannins, what's the best way for them to do that?
Our website, www.cannins.co.uk, or follow us on Instagram or Facebook. Just type in Cannins on there and
got some great reels
find us. Yeah, we do lots of, we're on TikTok as well.
Yeah.
Brilliant. What are you doing on TikTok then?
Videos. The cleaner, have you not seen all of our reels, Kevin?
Right. All that.
Yes.
Sorry, Martyn, I missed that.
Anyway.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
all of our videos, sort of like before and after on site. So we do a lot of really good reels of like some really nice properties and the commercial jobs we do.
Fantastic. Brilliant. Emma and Martyn, thank you very much indeed for being with us on ScaleUp Radio.
Cheers.
Don't forget to take a look at www.bizsmarts.co.uk to access a great range of resources to help you in your scale-up journey. So that's bizsmarts.co.uk, which is bizsmarts.co.uk.
This has been a Monkey Pants Productions podcast.